Today's title screen is Survive, which is a great title for today, as that's what we're going to look at doing, surviving the night.
Satchmold! Satchmold!
Hello everybody, my name is Satchmold, or Satch. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are going to go ahead and look at surviving the night. In previous episodes we looked at how to use the crafting table, craft some tools, and how to use them. So we're going to go ahead and use some of those to get us started. Please enjoy. So one of the first things we want to do is decide how we want to build our shelter to survive the night. There are two methods really. One is you can either dig in, dig a little hole for yourself and kind of survive in there. That's kind of the easy way out. We want to at least survive with a little bit of room to wiggle. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're actually going to go ahead and build up a little starter base. So we want to go ahead and break down some trees to get some wood. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Just going to gather up a bunch of different wood, some oak and some birch. You can choose whichever you've got nearest you. This is just going to be a starter base to get us through the first few nights, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like. We'll be able to make something much nicer looking later on. Fun tip, easiest way to finish off a tree is to go from the top. Makes it much easier to mine in the straight line, and you come out at the bottom and you get all of the wood. Sometimes it's a little harder to get to the top, so you can build up to the top. I like to build up to the top with an easily destroyed block like dirt. Dirt is a little easier to destroy with a shovel. Alright, so I kind of like this spot for our starter base. It's just going to be an easy small one. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take all the wood I just collected. We've got a bunch of oak logs, some birch logs. We're going to go ahead and make a crafting table because we don't have one nearby. I'm going to use the birch. Doesn't matter which one you use as long as you have one in each slot. You got to have birch planks or planks, any kind of plank. Grab the crafting table, we're going to put that down, and that's going to be what we use to build this house. So we're going to go ahead and convert everything into planks because that's much more resource efficient as opposed to using logs to build. So we've got plenty of wood to work with here. I'm going to be a little artsy, but very little, and I'm going to make the exterior structure out of birch. And we're going to make this 5 wide. So that's going to put the middle here. And this is going to be the other edge of our base. And we're going 4 high. And we're going to go 5 wide again. It's going to put us right here. And the last one is right here. So that makes us all even. And this is just to get us started on a shelter. Now, the reason shelter is so important is because mobs spawn at night, as you've seen a little bit in previous episodes. They can attack you and ultimately kill you, which does make it harder to play the game if you're constantly fighting them off. I'm going to leave this space open for potential windows. And remember, we just right click to place a block, as we learned in previous episodes. And we have the perfect amount of oak logs for the walls. I do need a little bit more for the ceiling and a door. Alright, so I've built up a little bit of house just in time for night. so the only things missing here are a door and maybe some windows. So I'm going to go ahead and craft up a door. So using the recipe book, you can just click on the door. Otherwise, it's 6 blocks just like this, or planks. It always makes 3 doors. And then you place that down and nothing can come in, which is great. And then I'm going to go ahead and do something a little different for the windows. I'm going to make sticks, and I'm going to use that to make fences. Only gives me 3 fences, but I'll use those wisely. I'll place one in the middle, one in the middle, one in the middle. And then if we had a little bit more oak, we could fill in the rest. But this will be good to survive the night. The only thing that can get us is spiders. Actually, there are a few pieces out here that I can take. Alright, perfect example. We've got a not so friendly zombie outside. Some archers are spawning. Things are outside, but they can't get to us. He's gonna try, but he can't. And we've got our nice little house just to get us through the night. We've also got some sticks and some coal that we got earlier, so I can go ahead and make some torches. That's gonna let me light up the inside of the house. That just gives us a little extra light so it's not so dark in here. And unfortunately, what a lot of people end up having to do their first night is just wait until the sun comes up. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do here. And after that, we'll go ahead and craft up the bed, so that way we don't have to do that. And I'll also go ahead and get the last few pieces of wood. So I'll see you in the morning. Alright, the sun has risen. Our not so friendly friends are starting to burn from the sun. Where's the sun? There's the sun. You can see they just end up dying. Yeah, that works for me. Keeps us safe. So I'm going to grab a little bit more wood, and then we're going to go ahead and make a bed as well, so that way we can easily sleep through the next night. Alright, so I've got enough wood to finish up the interior here. Got some little windows made out of fences, just because we don't want to take the time to make glass at the moment. Just this is something super basic. We want to be able to see outside, see if we have any zombie friends coming, and to be able to close ourselves off for the night. We're going to use this base for a little while in order to get through the next few days. So the next thing we need is sheep to get wool. We already have 2 wool. In order to make a bed, we need 3 wool. So we'll switch over here to the showing all section, and we look at the bed. In order to make a bed, we need 3 wood. You can see how it's changing here between different kinds. You can use any 3 planks, and then you can use any color wool. Different colored wool will make different colored beds, but you do need to use all of the same color on an individual bed. So for this, we need 3. We only have 2, but we do have enough wood. So all we need is 1 more wool, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. I do see a sheep over there, so I'm going to go ahead and get him. Something you'll notice as I walk over to him is that I am walking over to get him. Once you reach this point in your hunger bar where you have 3 or less full, I guess, legs of lamb, 3 meats left, you actually can no longer run because you are too tired to do so. So I'm walking over to this sheep and I'm going to hit him. So what I did is I jumped, because when you come down like that and you kind of saw the extra sparkles in there, that means you had a critical hit. It usually happens when you jump. It's a little tricky, but you'll get the hang of it eventually. But he also dropped some meat, and we got our wool. So now we have 3 wool. Got some meat. We'll go ahead and cook that up as well. Just need a couple more cobblestone. Alright, so we're back in our house. We've got our crafting table here. So we're going to go ahead and make that bed. Got the bed. And then something else I want to make. You can see it kind of popped up here. I have 8 cobblestone, which allows me to create a furnace. Now, a furnace is good for a couple of things, but the important one that we have right now is food. We are very hungry, and it's starting to get to the point we're going to starve soon. So I'm going to go ahead and craft that furnace so that way we can cook up our raw mutton and raw beef so that we have some food. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and grab your bed, and you're going to right click on a spot to place it. Now the bed is 2 spaces long, so if I were to place it here, it wouldn't actually place. You can hear me trying to click, nothing happens. But if I come back to here, it'll place the bed. So I like my bed nice and centered, so I like where it is there. And then I also have my furnace. So what I'm going to do, just for some symmetry, place it on the opposite side of my crafting table. Now, furnaces require a fuel source down here, and they also require what you want to be cooked up here. And then you can see the arrow coming out to your output here. This will be the final product. What they've recently done is they actually added a recipe book to here as well, so it'll show you the different things that you can make at this time. Right now, the only things I can make is iron, because I have an iron ore that I found, some cooked mutton from the raw mutton, and then steak from our raw steak. What it doesn't show you is the fuel sources. But we can get very creative here. The best fuel source is coal, but we don't really have any coal at the moment. What we do have are some wooden tools. So what you can actually do, since we have stone duplicates of a lot of our tools, you can actually take those and burn them. So I'm going to go ahead and line these up here. So my wooden axe broke, but you can use wooden tools once you have their upgrades to cook. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, place it in the fuel source location, and then I'm going to take this guy and cook it. So it consumes your fuel source and it provides you with some heat. So it looks like this is going to provide me with enough heat to cook one item. Perfect. So now I have some cooked mutton. Now different items will give different amounts of heat. So one stick will not cook your food enough, and you can see how it didn't make it to the maximum. So you can take different things to try to be fuel sources. So saplings aren't quite enough either, but if I place in another one, it will continue to cook it to completion. Now, I can use oak fences to demonstrate this. You can actually put more than one thing in there at a time. And it looks like oak fences will actually cook a little bit more than one item. It looks like it might actually cook 2. We'll see here. But once that finishes up, we'll go ahead and put in our raw beef as well, and then we'll have a decent amount of food to keep us through for a couple of days here. Put in another item here. That's going to allow us to finish up the fuel, except it's not cooking it. Oh, I didn't take... Oh, see, mistakes were made. I didn't take the items out of the output section, and because it was different than the input section, it didn't start to cook it, which also means that it didn't get to utilize all of the fuel to finish cooking this item. We do have some more wood that we can burn, so I shift-clicked on the item I wanted to go into the fuel source, and it's starting to finish cooking the raw beef. Perfect, so now we have some food. Something else to show you with food. Each food does fill your stealth, or excuse me, does fill your stamina or hunger bar differently. So when we eat the raw mutton, or the cooked mutton, you'll see that it fills 3 hunger blocks, because we were at 2.5, and now we have 5.5. And then you'll also see that steak consumes 4. So we went from 5.5 to 1, 2, 3, 4 now. So we do have a half left. It's not a big deal to have that left, so we will be okay. It is starting to become night, so we'll go ahead and go to sleep. So close our door. Don't want any bad guys coming in here. Get our nice cozy new home. Maybe light the fire for the night. I don't think we have anything else to cook. Oh, we can cook some iron. Just light the fire for the night, and what you do is you look at your bed and you right click on it. and then it'll wake us up once the night is over. It only takes about a second or so. Walk outside. Nothing spawned because it didn't have a chance to. We switched it to night quickly. And that's everything. That is how you get through a night. You get a little bit of food as well. Next episode, we'll do some farming with our wooden hoe. And we'll plant some seeds and get some crops. That way we can also have another food source, because eventually we'll start to kill off all of the food around us and we'll want something else to sustain us. Alright, well that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Again, my name is Satchmold. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Satchmold. Satchmold.